Hello and
Yeah,
welcome back to
I'll,
RDA. Oh,
sorry.
our guest has already spoken. It's beautiful. We're joined once again by the lovely TripleM, and whose face you might recognize if you've been on this channel quite a while. And he's
What's
finally
up?
back. We're doing another video together, and today we're just going to be talking about the whole Glazers out movement right now, the United protests, the Liverpool United game getting called off, all that good stuff. And without further ado, Marcus, take it away. Introduce yourself to the people that don't know you.
Well, I'm TripleM or Marcus, whichever you prefer calling me. I obviously used to make videos on this channel. Now I started my own channel, TripleM UTD, and I think it's TripleM underscore UTD or on Twitter. I think that's my ad, but I'll have it in the description down below, in case that's wrong. But yeah, I'm excited to be doing a video with Clayton, a good friend of mine, and yeah, we're going to be talking about the United protest because it was a madness yesterday, fam. An
Yeah.
absolute madness.
It really was. So we can just start. Overall thoughts over it. What do you feel? How are you feeling?
I mean, I'm pretty annoyed to be honest, and
Mm.
I'm annoyed because I feel like the media attention is focusing on the wrong thing, which we all knew was going to happen. But I think it's pretty messed up that a small minority of people cross the line
Yeah.
and now they are in the limelight as opposed to the hundreds and thousands of people who were spectating the protest because thanks to fan channels, even though they're not popular in the UK,
Yeah.
we were able to see the protest, and obviously the fans who were there we didn't do anything, right? Like most of the United fan base didn't do anything. It was just a few prets who went a bit too
Exactly.
far. And at the end of the day, I feel like people are they're underestimating how big this issue is. I've heard a lot of rival fans coming out like, oh, that's a disgrace. They should be punished for infiltrating the field like that and stopping the game. And I'm like, bro, there's a bigger picture. There's more important things in life than one game. There's a
Yeah.
bigger picture.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I think a nice thing to focus on is the British media's portrayal of this whole situation, because they really have blown it out of proportion, saying people are being dangerous, people are being reckless, people got hurt during the thing. But again, it was just completely the outliers. There were kids on the field, there were parents
Yeah.
literally leading their kids onto the field. They were kicking a ball around a little bit. Like, it was quite literally just a fan protest. It was people standing up for something that's been going on for way too long.
Yeah, dude, and when people are upset and people are mad, like a lot of people don't want to hear this, but when people are upset and people are mad and they're bothered by an issue, whether it's a political issue or an issue relating to sports, someone's always going to go too far. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know where people get this idea where protests are just this perfect thing.
Yeah.
Like you can support a message and the intent behind a message without condoning violence. And I think that's the thing here. People think this is black and white where you're either against the protest or you're not. And it's like, no, the reason why the protest happened and the reason why people went too far is because the owners of this club went too far by stealing money
Yeah.
out of the club and running it badly. And that should be the focus. And yet again, the media is not helping us, the fans, because they've moved on now. Now that the ESL stuff has been postponed, they're back to their usual scumbag selves, just looking for the
Exactly.
best story and causing division.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised, but I'm annoyed.
Yeah, I'm not
Definitely.
surprised either, but I agree. I'm genuinely very annoyed with how the media portrayed things, especially Sky coming out with some of their presenters going out and condemning the fans for doing this completely. Whereas,
Yeah.
like on Super Sports, where we had our presenter, I don't remember his name, but he was with Michael Owen and Owen Hargreaves, I believe it was.
Mm.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I think
I'm not 100%
they
sure.
portrayed it a lot better than what the British standard media did, like Sky. They actually actively went, the owners of this club have done wrong, and we're trying to fix that. Fans are trying to actually stand up for themselves for once. They actually portrayed us very nicely, and I'm very proud of whatever channel that is in British media, but it just doesn't overlap with everything else. It just loses its meaning once other people start condemning it. When big names like a Graham Souness comes out and goes, "Yeah, you guys are absolute idiots. Why would you call this game off? You completely ruined my
Yeah.
Sunday. What's wrong with you? Why are you doing this?" Uh,
Yeah, there's always going to be press like that in the media. I think Sonus, I'm surprised they didn't talk about Pogba, to be honest.
how come Paul
But
Pogba
look,
wasn't involved? Maybe he gave him the keys to Old
yeah,
Trafford to break in.
what,
Paul Pogba definitely did something.
we need to look at what Paul Pogba's role in all of this was. But no,
Yes,
on a
he's
serious
connected.
note, I think, yeah, I think for me, I'm fairly optimistic about the future with Manchester United
Yeah.
because I think a lot of people are uneducated on how many protests have actually happened. Like I heard someone, a Liverpool fan, going, and saying that Manchester United fans are only protesting because we're not winning trophies or we're not doing that well.
Exactly.
And I was like, bro, Glazers Out protests have been happening since 2005. One of the most famous ones was 2008 when people started wearing the green and gold scarves.
Yeah.
And that was the year we won. Actually, that was the year we sealed the back-to-back-to-back titles.
Exactly.
So it's not just about results on the football pitch. And I think a lot of United fans realize that. I think I'm fairly optimistic because I think the turnout was amazing. I think the fact that we had two big protests like that, technically three if you want to count the invasion into Carrington.
Yeah.
Three protests in such a short space of time. People are clearly fed up, and they're not just fed up by tweeting hashtags on social media. I mean, those of us who are global fans, that's all we can really do, to be fair. But they're actually going out there and letting their voices be heard. And whatever your opinion is on yesterday's protest, I tell you what, invading a pitch sends far more of an impact in the statements than standing outside Old Trafford and singing, give it, give it, give it to Eddie Cavani. It makes far more of an impact.
Yeah.
You know, and that's no disrespect to the last protest. I'm just saying, you know, the mark of a good party is always something bad happening. You know, that's just the truth. It's just the truth. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and another thing that I think we can touch on is just I'm very proud to be a United fan after all that came out, in all honesty. I feel very passionately about the fan base, and I'm glad to see more people feel so passionately that they're literally going to take time out their day and cause such a ruckus that they're going to get a game postponed. I feel very proud to be a United fan. I feel very proud to be Glazers Out.
yeah.
And it's just a good time. It feels like we're actually having a bit of an impact, seeing this quite literally impact their revenue directly, with players not leaving their hotels, with nothing going forward, and the game postponed to an unknown date at this point. I feel it's fantastic progress.
Yeah, do you mind if I ask you a question quickly?
Yeah, of course.
What do you think is the next step for United fans? Like, if you were a United fan in the UK and you had a huge following, what would you be saying is the next step behind the scenes right now, now that this protest is happening? Because I've heard a few people say that, you know, I've heard someone say something, an absolute madness, fam. Like the person said, let's protest every home game and get every game postponed until the Glazers start. I don't think that's realistic because I feel like eventually there'll be enough police forces or there'll be enough security at the stadiums to not let people in, and I think that could turn very ugly. But what would you do?
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of jackasses can easily turn that into a violent protest, and someone's going to throw one of those flare cans at a police officer, and then a whole riot's going to break loose, and then there's just going to be this whole terrible light. So I don't think that's the way to move forward. But I'm not quite sure what the best way to move forward is. I think things like cancelling season ticket holders, I think you need to get rid of your tickets, you need to refund it somehow, whatever the policy is on the United games.
You know what I think?
Yeah.
You know what I think? I think the season ticket thing is such a sensitive topic because you'll have those top reds who are like, yeah, but somebody else is just going to take my season ticket, so I might as well go watch the boys. Plus, I'm watching Ollie and the players, not the Glazers. And I'm like, yeah, shut up, bro. But what I would say is don't cancel your season tickets, but just don't go to some of the big games.
That's true, actually.
Because I think after COVID, is kind of, because in the UK you can clearly see that the restrictions are starting to get a lot more lenient. I think the way to go about it from now on till the end of the season and into next season is for people to just not go to games. And there's no message more powerful than an empty stadium when people are actually allowed to go and people pay for tickets, number one. And number two, stop buying the merch, people. Stop buying the merch. Like, go to the games, it's fine. Go to us versus Leeds, but don't go with the brand new kit, fam. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
And it's sad because those new kits look saucy. The 1 year where we're gonna boycott kits, they decide to actually make kits that look nice, bro. It's a madness.
But
I was never buying that zebra kit, bro. But
exactly.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I do think now is the time to try and make the pockets hurt. As much as we can get some protests outside of the grounds, I think that's going to be very useful. I think if we can do that as much as possible, it's going to be great. Even if it's an away fan, even if you can only go to that away Leeds game or something, if you can go show your support, go hold a sign, go chant a little, see if you can stir up a bit of a crowd.
Yeah.
I think just letting your voices be heard is key right now. And as much as making their pockets hurt is the best way to go about it, the Glazers are just making so much money out of this club, regardless of whether a couple thousand fans aren't buying because there's a couple million still buying. I get that argument, I really do. But something has to change. What it is right now is a bit unclear. It's hard to take out someone in such a high position of power when we have next to no power ourselves. So keeping players from the game is a fantastic show that we actually do have some power. And I want us to keep doing something like that. But it is very unrealistic to expect us to call off every home game from now on.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. All I would say is it has to start with you. I think the whole excuse of people, it's the same people who will go on Twitter and like in the comments of someone tweeting hashtag Glaze out, they'll be like, this is not making a difference, right, bro? It's not making a difference, right? Like you're the only one tweeting this. And it's like, bro, like if everybody has that attitude, then nothing's going to change, right? Like it has to start with you. If you care about Manchester United, just don't buy the shirt. Just don't buy it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't tell people you haven't done it. Tell them if you want to, so that you can encourage other people. But just do your part, because I think that's what people don't understand. And even something as simple as the hashtags. Yes, we know hashtags are not going to get the Glazers out, but the point is, at least the media is aware of the issue. The ESL hashtags, they worked, fam. They worked. Yes, Sky Sports have their own vested interests and all these other media companies. Yes, they do have their own vested interests. But I tell you what, it helped them so much that the fans were against it, because they could then side with the fans.
That's all it is at this point. And so, that's a good place to put it.
And I think we've got a lot of momentum at the moment, so
that's good.
I'm optimistic.
And I think last thing we can talk about is just the game in general. Like, what were your thoughts going into the game? Were you excited for it? Are you a bit upset that it was called off?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I know some people watching this might be upset by this, but I wasn't looking forward to it. I even sent Shawnee a message like, you guys keep hyping up this dead derby, fam. I'm not feeling it. First of all, I feel like the game was so inconsequential because we're already in the top four. So unless we lost like 3-0 to Liverpool, I wasn't gonna care. Second of all, I feel like the last game we played against them in the league was 0-0. Even last season, the away game that we played against them in the league was a draw, and the one at Old Trafford, I believe, was a 1-1 draw as well. So I never look forward to these big games anymore, especially this season with our record against the top six. The only game that was good was us versus Man City when we beat them 2-0. So I wasn't excited about this game, and I wasn't bummed that it was called off. It only hit me like this morning that this is messed up with my upload schedule, fam, because I had a video planned
I think we feel about the same here as well.
United game. Yeah, exactly.
Because we were ready to go live after the game as well.
Exactly. It's excuse me. It's only because of the content. But otherwise I really couldn't care less. What about you?
Yeah, I was a little bit upset just because I thought it could be an interesting game, considering it was a 3-2 in the cup game recently, and that was our most recent fixture to base it off of. I felt we were in good scoring form against Roma. I felt we could actually bring something to the table. As much as that is a bit naive, because I do realize our record against the Big Six is just horrid. It's just draws everywhere. And it shouldn't be a big game by any means, but it's one of the biggest games on paper to me, because I grew up in a household which was Liverpool versus United. It was always a big game for me. So it's always a game I look forward to regardless. So I was a bit bummed, but I'm very proud as a United fan nonetheless because of what happened as a consequence of the game getting called off.
I mean, that makes sense, but I believe that if this was a cup game, I definitely would have been upset, because the reason why the FA Cup game was as exciting as it was is because it's a cup game. Like if you lose, you get knocked out. I feel like United would have been okay with the draw, and you know how we do when we're okay with the draw, guys. Like back six, McFred.
The one thing about this game, it was pivotal for Man City. If we lost to Liverpool,
that's true.
They won the title immediately.
That's true.
So
they're going to win it anyways. Football fans are so pedantic sometimes. They're going to win it anyways. I know some people really take that stuff seriously.
It's our pride on the line here.
I know. I get it. But like, I'm just like, nah. I really couldn't care less about Man City at this point. Rance said something. Rance, the football YouTuber, said something the other day that I really resonate with. Like, I'm not bothered about City anymore because it doesn't even feel like a real rivalry. Like, when we play in the derby for the 90 minutes, I'll cheer my team on and we'll be really passionate. But beyond that, fam, City are clear of us. United aren't clear, fam. I mean, we're not serious, sorry. We're just not a serious football club at the moment. So I feel like City are just leagues ahead of us.
And weird enough, we always win our rivalries. So I have to say. Hands off after that.
But anyways, that's all I've got to say on that. Probably upset a few people.
Anything else you want to touch on regarding this?
Nothing really. I do want to ask though. Do you believe, just before we end off the video, do you believe that Manchester United will win the Europa League, number one? And number two, if we do win the Europa League, is that enough for you to give Solskjaer time, or are you just giving him time because you know he's going to be here anyways next season?
I am more in the camp of just saying we should have enough quality to win the Europa League. We are miles and leagues ahead of every other team in here, and we showed that against Roma. We should be comfortably winning this. And
That's true.
again, the Roma game proves that perfectly. No other team is anywhere near us in quality nor in stature, and it should be a win for us. But I still doubt our abilities to pull through in the big moments, considering how often we've choked. So
I
I can't
mean,
confidently say we win it, but I think we can win it.
we all know
Mm.
a pandemic Pep is a good record against Oli. You know,
Exactly.
Tapas Pulis, Mikel Arteta's fam. But would it be enough for you to give Oli time, or even slightly, even just a little, change your opinion on Oli, since you would have
Yeah.
broken the semi-final curse should we go on to win it?
Yeah, if we
Or
win
are you
it,
just
I said I'm happy to give him another year. I said I'm happy to still complain about him for another year and let it be because we're actually winning something under him. He's not just a results merchant where he's getting draws and wins in the Premier League and barely losing. And we go on an unbeaten run of 15 games. Oh, look at Oli. He's the greatest manager ever. But 3 of those games were draws against Newcastle, Burnley, and Brighton,
Bro, I hate that, bro. I
It's,
always tell people
yeah,
I would rather not have a 15-game unbeaten record and have two trophies and be fourth. Like, I
exactly.
would rather not have the best away record since Alex Ferguson. But
Yeah,
anyways,
we have the
yeah,
mentality of playing for draws, and I don't quite like it. And that is something I
yeah.
want to change, and that's a big thing about Ali as well. So I'm still going to hold my ground with Ali out, but I did say I will confidently give him another year. I will let him see what happens and see if he can progress, like all the Ali inners are saying, like Malota especially. He has said if things change next year, then fair play. We'll maybe start converting. But if things look the same, if we're still playing Nick Fred and we have a fully fit Pog, we have a fully fit Donny, and we're just chowing bench with them, and we have a massive window, and say we get like Rice and Sancho or something, and they're getting chowed bench for like Dan James and McTominay, like what are we doing as a club? That's not
I'm
okay
not
for
gonna
me.
lie to you.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't see that changing in it because people act like Solskjaer's only been here for a year, fam. He's been
yeah.
here for 2 years. This is it. This
It's
is
two
it
and
with
a half
Solskjaer.
if
What
you
his
include his
habits
tenure.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually, it's 2.5. So I don't see where people
I'm
see
with you.
this
Yeah,
sudden change. You know, I don't mean to spread negativity or anything like that, but for me, the jury's out and sort of in it. I
yeah.
know I came here on the show on a podcast after I can't remember which game it was, and I said that he needed to win two trophies and make top four.
Yeah.
And I did say on that show that one of those trophies could be the Europa League, but actually, I'm going against what I said at the beginning of the season because at the beginning of the season, I was under the impression that we were going to be in the Champions League. So I said,
That's true.
hey, I don't even want any trophies. I just want top
Yeah,
four, get to the round of 16, get to the quarterfinal, and challenge for the FA Cup, and I'll be happy.
yeah,
But that didn't even happen. We got knocked out in the group stages. So I
yeah.
lowered my standards. I lowered my standards to accommodate the
Exactly.
Solly in, Oli out debate. So I don't even know if I will be that chuffed with Oli if we win the Europa League. I'll
Yeah,
obviously celebrate it, obviously ponder it as the summer comes, but
yeah,
ultimately, we've still lost 4 semi-finals. Even if we win this one, it's 1 out of 4.
yeah.
So
Exactly. It's still not
for
progressed.
me, the jury's out on Solskjaer, and he's going to be here anyway. So I might as well give him a chance to prove me wrong. I've
Exactly.
got no choice. I'm not going to sit here and get my high blood pressure up, but the jury's out for me in it, to
Yeah.
be honest. And he's the only reason I'm not passionate about the Oli out thing at the moment is because there's bigger issues,
Yeah,
such as the
exactly what I was
Glazers at
about
our
to
clubs.
say.
Yeah,
The main
that's the only
takeaway.
reason I'm calm about it. You know, like Solskjaer's the least of my worries because of the Glazers at the moment. If it wasn't
Exactly.
for them, I would be calling for his head
Yeah.
every match day.
This little segment was just all opinionated, and just the main message that we need to take away right now is the Glazers out. We need them out of our club because they've just been toxic. They've been hurting this fan base. They've been
It's a
being
madness.
us dry. It's ridiculous. So I'm very proud to be a United fan because of this game getting called off. Weird enough. Didn't think I would be able to
Yeah,
say that one day, going a match was postponed, but I'm actually very proud as a fan nonetheless. So
yeah,
uh,
it's crazy.
the only thing I want you guys to take to heart is please do wear your masks when you're out in public protesting. I see way too many of you guys with the masks down. That's the only issue I see with these protests. Please just
Yeah,
stay
it's
safe. It's a
a touchy
bad world
subject.
out there, yeah. Just
Can
be
I just
safe.
add one more
Yeah.
thing, just
Yeah.
before you end up the video? Do not forget, for those of you who are not educated, okay, let it be remembered, they took 1.5 billion pounds out of this club over the last 15 years and put us 500 million deep into debt. You add that together. I wasn't very good at maths in high school, but that's around 2 billion pounds needlessly taken out of the club. Whether you classify it as debt or dividends, it's around 2 billion pounds. Do not forget that. It is not. So don't chat anything to me about the 900 million that we spent on players, forgetting how much players we've sold, forgetting the net spend. And when I say net spend, I don't just mean in context of transfers. I mean in context of wages. I mean in context of agent fees, all of that, taking all of that into account, and the debt that they've carried since they came here, and the fact that they bought us on debt, so they haven't even paid back the money. They didn't even use their own money to buy this club. They put the club in debt, and then on top of that have taken money out. So they've profited over 2 billion without putting anything into this club. And they've gone off and they've run off into the sunset and helped their clubs like the Buccaneers in other countries that have nothing to do with us win major titles, fam. Signing Mandem like Tom Brady, fam, instead of signing Sancho for United. So that's all I want. That's all I want to end off with, for all of those people who are uneducated on the seriousness of the situation. But I trust everyone who watches this channel, since it's a United fan channel, is aware of what scumbags are running our club.
But on that note, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Please do go check out Marcus's socials and go support him as well with his new channel. And yeah, have a good day, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.